A lot has been riding on No Time to Die, not just for the James Bond franchise itself, but for the movie industry as well as for the studio MGM. The company is finding itself in increasingly difficult financial trouble, and if the latest James Bond outing isn't a box office success, it may spell doom for the venerable studio. In this video, we will take a look at the financial situation facing MGM. Then we will convey the new revelation that has surfaced, and what that could mean for James Bond and his latest adventure. MGM is one of the oldest studios in Hollywood. Though their logo has been more closely associated with the James Bond franchise as of late, they have had success outside of that, with movies like Child's Play and Bill and Ted Face the Music, neither of which were as profitable for the studio as they could have been. Child's Play was pre-sold to foreign distributors, and Bill and Ted was only distributed through their subsidiary Orion. Bond is still one of, if not the jewel in MGM's crown. By the time it's finally released, the latest James Bond film would have been delayed for nearly a full year. The film has seen its share of calamities, which the global pandemic has more than contributed to. On October 4th, Regal Cinemas announced that due to the film being delayed yet again, this time from November 2020 to April 2021, that their cinemas would remain closed for the indefinite future. As essentially the last film standing, with Disney having already pushed back its Marvel slate of films, and the state of other tentpoles in flux, the theater chain had pinned its hopes on No Time to Die for a much-needed infusion of cash. Though while the delay of No Time to Die may seem catastrophic for theaters, it may prove to also be ruinous for MGM. The studio financed the film by taking out a substantial loan, something which is a common practice in the movie industry. However, in order to pay back those loans, the movie obviously has to be released, so it can make money. With the ongoing delays and much of the world re-entering states of lockdown, there is no telling when the movie will be released. Furthermore, interest on those loans continues to accumulate. Capital Research CEO Hal Vogel said of the situation, "MGM is suffering. Every major distributor at this point has a pile of unreleased expensive movies. The pile grows larger by the day. These films are inventory. They are sitting there with no return on their investment. Even with low interest rates, the interest costs are piling up. So going the streaming route is not that crazy. You've spent the money, and you're not getting it back anytime soon." It's estimated that currently, with No Time to Die sitting in the can, that it is costing MGM approximately $1 million a month. That total is just on the interest generated on the loan. It should also be noted that MGM is not only a movie company. They own and operate many resorts around the world, including the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, the Bellagio, the Mirage, the Luxor, the Park MGM, Empire City Casino, the Borgata in Atlantic City, as well as other resorts throughout the US, Japan, and China. MGM Resorts had an operating loss of $1 billion in the second quarter of 2020. As hotels started with limited openings, third quarter losses were reported to be $495 million. In August, MGM laid off 18,000 of its 68,000 employees. In no uncertain terms, the corporation is bleeding money. News, however, came of the potential sale of No Time to Die to the streaming service, Apple or Netflix. However, the asking price was apparently too steep as both parties walked away from the table, balking at the alleged $600 million price tag. The film seems to already have the deck stacked against it, and with the controversy being generated by one of its stars, it only further adds to the growing list of hills it would need to climb. It seems as though there may be a light at the end of the tunnel, as new information has come to light that may yet see Britain's greatest secret agent hit the small screen rather than the big one. The information we are about to convey at this time cannot be independently verified. Therefore, it must be treated as rumor and taken with a proverbial grain of salt. An inside source claiming to be close to the production of No Time to Die and the James Bond copyright holder Dan Jack has reached out to Midnight's Edge and dropped a few details regarding the future of the film. This source claims that MGM's financial situation is more dire than we have been led to believe, and high-level meetings have taken place at HBO, the contents of which were strictly confidential. The source also goes on to claim that a science fiction property owned by the same studio associated with the James Bond franchise is also being discussed. While Netflix and Apple turned down acquiring the streaming rights to No Time to Die, another player with deep pockets could potentially swoop in and land the film. A streaming service such as HBO Max, which is owned by AT&T. AT&T has already shown that it is more than willing to take a chance on a project such as the Snyder Cut of Justice League. It is therefore not completely out of the realm of possibility that they would pony up for the rights to No Time to Die, and for the audience it would bring to the streaming service. For MGM, they may no longer be able to sit on No Time to Die for very much longer. With the interest on their loans mounting, and with the uncertainty that the world is facing in the current health crisis, the studio will eventually reach a tipping point. That no matter how much money No Time to Die eventually will bring in at the box office, it simply may not be enough to generate a profit. MGM at this point may be looking to unload No Time to Die and take the best deal they can get in order to get some kind of return on their investment. With each passing month, that tipping point may be edging closer. When it does, not even James Bond will be able to save them. What do you think? And let us know if you're still excited to see No Time to Die in the comments.